Well, hello and welcome back again, friends. Jake here with you for part 3, I believe, of our Enterprise TOS build-up. So what you can see here now is we have our secondary hull all together now, and we've got all the wires run for it and getting ready to do our seam work here. So before we go into this, I just want to make sure that y'all know that you're going to have to light block this before you put it in, or you're going to end up having to paint over all these wires, simply for the fact that this ring right here that holds the deflector dish in does have light leaks in it, so you're going to have to pay attention to that. But some of y'all might know that we've already done our seam work on our neck and our pylons. We've got those ready to go. Now we will not be putting putty around the seams of these areas and around the base of the neck, because these were made to come off. So they're supposed to look like that. So, but had to do a lot of work to get this shuttle bay in here, get it ready to go, because you had to, with these kits, some of you might know already that you have to do a lot of shaving on the inside of the secondary hull plastic here, almost to get it to like paper thin. And then also you're going to probably have to shave some material off on the shuttle bay as well. But we got all that together now, got it all ready to go. Even with you doing that, you're still going to have a little bit of a seam here, but most of it's together. But this isn't going to be a problem. Putty will take care of that. And so what we have here is we have a strip of 0805 double density LED strip tape from Jerry at HDA Modelworks. Some of the very small stuff. And then we have a 0805 SMD facing the wall of this little control room right here at the back. Right there, if I can get to it. Little control room right there. And then we have part of that LED light strip tape coming up right here to where it'll light this dome, and also it'll light those 3 little lights right there. So we're not using the parts for that, the inserts for that. We're going to be using some fiber optic that goes in there. So we're going to be puttying all over this, and then on the bottom. So let's get to the bottom here, and let me readjust the camera here to. Sorry about the bumpy ride, folks. We'll be using the spot glazed Bondo putty from 3M. Stuff works really good. Now you will have to put 2 or 3 coats of this stuff on, simply for the fact that it will shrink. So the heavier you put it on here, the more you're going to have to wait to sand it. So let me wipe some of this off right here and get it to where I need to be. And I'm going to get some down here in this area here. Okay. Alright, now we will have to be doing this in a couple of videos, guys, or a couple of, this won't be all one session here, simply for the fact that we're going to have, filler and have to let it dry and come back. So we'll be doing this in a couple of segments here. We'll get some of this around these joints here. Get it down inside there. Okay, now that's pretty much done for that. So I'm gonna flip it over now and see if I can't do this without getting too much putty on my hands here, or on the. But we're going to go ahead and putty this area here. I'm going to do something real quick. I've noticed that this is kind of real liquidy. It needs to be kind of shaken up a little bit, or stir it up, sometimes you have to do that. Okay. And let's see if we can't get some. Like I said, I'm not worried about getting it down in those holes, because we are going to be using fiber optics. So I'm just going to run it right across here and get some on the end there, right down there on the top. Alright, well, now what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry for a little while, come back, do some sanding on it, and add some more than likely we're going to have to. Now we will be doing some putty work right down here around the edge of the base of the neck. So we're going to let this dry for a couple hours and then come back and do it again, guys. So stay tuned. Long time for me, short time for you. Okay guys, welcome back. This is I made a mistake on the beginning of this video. I thought this was part 3, but this is actually going to be part 4. So what I went on ahead and did is I came in just to kind of show you what I've done already. Is I've gone through and did the first layer of putty, and started off, once it dried, started off with 100 grit, and then worked my way up from 200 to 400 to 600 grit. So we got this pretty well smoothed off now, but I still feel a little bit of ridges, a little bit of a divot in here on the seam here. So what I'm going to do is once we sand the other side, I'm going to go ahead and do put another small coat of putty down here. So what we're doing here, if you can see this is what happens when your putty is too moist. It will start cracking along the way, and so that's why I was trying to get this to where it was not as moist. You want to keep that, you know, a real thick, I guess a real thick viscosity on here. But I'm going to go ahead and start sanding down the bottom half here using my 100 grit. And it should be, once it's dry, it should be just a very fine powder, kind of like what you're seeing here. Let me tilt the camera up a little bit more. That way you can see what I'm doing. But you can see it should be like a real fine powder once it's dry. If it's coming off in clots, it's not dry yet. So, and I'm not pushing very hard on this at all, guys. You don't want to push too hard, especially when it's upside down like this. You could have a chance of where it might damage or break the nacelles apart. So being upside down like that, so you want to just kind of do it lightly. If this stuff is dry enough, it'll work itself. It'll work itself off once you're sanding it. Try to get it here where I'm not bouncing the table around. Alright, get this to blow off. So you can see right here, it's pretty well sanded, but we still have a little bit of cracks here, and again right here on the back side. So I'm going to keep sanding away at this until we get it pretty well smooth. see we still have real thick putty up here, so you want to sand that away. And again, guys, this is going to take probably 2 or 3 coats of this putty to get it to where you need it to be. All right, let's blow this off here. So as you can see, it's starting to come down now, but we still have quite a bit of putty coming off, so we'll continue on here. Try not to shake the table too much. Alright, let's blow this off and see where we're at. Okay, so now you can see it looks a lot better here, but we still have some cracks to go along here, so not going to keep too much longer on this. You know, I don't want to bore y'all with all this, but so probably what I'll do is continue on off camera and get this sanded down real good, and then come back with another, you know, in the next segment, show you reapplying the putty for the second coat. So we will be back here as soon as we can. We'll get this sanded down and come right back showing you more putty. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, welcome back. Now I've got this all sanded off now, ready to go. I went on ahead off camera and did the top side, since that's a little bit more of a tougher area to get to on camera. So what we're going to do now is just take a little bit. We don't need a whole lot more down in here. Just take a little bit more and just kind of gently rub it across. And with the amount of sanding we did, it should make it level. Now this down here, on this below the shuttle bay area, this fantail section, there's usually always a step. I've done several of these kits now, and there's always a step on these right here on the back, so you want to make sure you get that well and good. And so I'm going to add a little bit more putty just into this area here to make it kind of a, this is kind of a flat area. So, okay. Well, we're gonna let that dry now for, you know, about an hour, and we'll come back and sand it down again and see what we're doing. You know, see how we're going on that. So, but I'm gonna show you something, a little side project I started. We'll move this out of the way so it'll dry. But let me wipe this and blow my deal off here real quick. Alright, so I started up another little project here, just from, you know, for me on the side while I'm doing these, you know, on the side here just on the weekend. So what this is the new 1/1000 scale Voyager, and I've gone through and completely light blocked the top and upper and lower saucer section. I've gotten the other parts done, and as you can see, there's no I didn't put, this is the clear version, and I didn't put any type of light blocking on the inside of the top saucer. Now this one here this is pretty much like the clear version of the Enterprise E, where it has that white plastic. Now a lot of people, you know, when they get this kit, they hear clear and they're like thinking of the Enterprise D clear version and that kind of kit. But this is not that type of a kit. This is like a very thin, opaque, white model kit. So, but it's a very nice model. I like the detail on it. It's got a lot more detail on it than the original Voyager. But pretty much, we're not going to be doing any holes in here except for doing the navigational lights and the strobe lights here. So, but what I'm going to be doing is I've started taking a toothpick, and let me zoom in here real quick. I know a lot of you wonder how I do things. Let me tilt the camera down some more so you can see. But I'm going to take this toothpick and just lightly scratch out, because this way you can keep track of. You don't have to worry about any of the you can keep the shape of the windows without having to go through a bunch of drill bits. Now, if you're going to light the other one, you're going to have to do some drilling. But that's pretty much it with that one. Guys, it's just very simple, gently. You don't have to do a whole lot. And I'll take it, if you can see through there. You can see the light coming through the window right there on the side. So it'll show through really well. And you can see I've already started doing some on the other side here, but this won't take too long. And so this is going to be just a little side project for me. I'll keep y'all updated on this and how I light, how I lay in the lighting and all that. And just in case you want to, I'm going to try to figure out how to light this without having to, do a whole lot of lighting, because this is a small kit. So, but anyway. We'll come back here with an update on this. I'm not going to do a video series on this, just kind of update videos. But we'll come back here in about an hour with the TOS and go from there, guys. So we'll be back shortly, guys. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back. Well, I went on ahead and let this set overnight and let all this dry really, really well. But I went back through and got it all sanded down, ready to go for primer. I did the 220, then went out from a 220 to 4, then to a 6 and 8, and then to finally onto a 1500 grit. But got all the bottom done now. I don't know if you can see. Let me tilt the camera up a little bit to where you can see and bring it in a little bit. But now you can see it's all smooth and ready to go. So what we're going to do now, in sake of time for the video here, whoops. Tripod's being a little cantankerous this morning. What I'm going to do this morning is, the sake of time for the video and everything, I'm going to go ahead. I went on ahead and sanded this off camera and got it prepped and ready for primer. So what I'm going to do though is go ahead and start getting our neck, around the neck, puttied. So I'm going to start out using our Voyager plastic putty here. This stuff is really good for when you get into crevices and stuff like that. You can't get regular putty down in there, but we do just give it a nice big bead down in there, and we're going to squeeze a little bit down in here and use our hobby knife to squeeze that in, to get that laid in. Okay. Alright, now what I'll do is I'll just take my finger and just gently bring it on through, just like that. You can see how nicely that will clean up. Alright, now we'll do the other side. Let's see if I can't get you in shot here. Like I said, just take my finger, my pinky, and just gently push it in. It's smoothed out. And that's it, guys. I mean, that's it on that. That's all you have to really do for that. Now, like I said, we're going to take I'm going to take a little bit of a Q-tip and go in right here where it didn't quite get all the way in. There we go, just like that. We'll do the same thing on this side here. Just take a Q-tip and just lightly go across it to get it spread down in there. And then I'll take my hobby knife here and just kind of push it in just a little bit right there. Alright, I'll get another Q-tip here and kind of clean that up a little bit. But there you go. And that's it. And I still see I need to get some putty right down in here on the front here, but I could do that before before we put the primer and stuff on. So alright guys, well that'll be it for this video. We got, I'll go back through off camera, and the next video I do will be a little bit later on this week. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and start putting on all the masking for the windows, so that way we don't get any primer on them. And then we go through, and I'm going to start going through and light blocking the areas that I had to shave down real close to the edge of the, make the plastic real thin. We'll go through and do some light blocking on there, and I know there's going to be some right in this area, and then some probably right here on the back side, and we'll go from there, guys. And then she'll be ready for paint after we get all the putty work done and finalized, and then all the windows light blocked, with the masking from Jerry at HDA Modelworks, and then go from there, guys. So until then, guys, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next video, guys.